So, what we're diving into today isn't just a story. Think of it more like a mythic theatrical parable. A grand cosmic performance all about order, chaos, and what happens when worlds are built on really shaky foundations.
And this right here, this is the heart of it all. It's like a silent chorus that's going to echo through every part of this saga. It's the one core truth, the one warning that hangs over everything we're about to witness. Definitely something to keep in mind.
All right, so every good story needs a witness, right? Someone to see it all. And ours begins in the most epic way possible, in the vast, frozen emptiness of Ginnunga Gap, with the birth of an entity made of pure, cold stasis. So before he got his cool, fiery name, he was known as Iron Rime. And what does that mean? Well, think of him as the embodiment of absolute, unchanging law. His whole purpose was just to maintain order, to keep everything from just dissolving. He was cold, silent, and totally absolute. But you know how it is, right? Absolute stillness, perfect stasis, it never lasts. And our story really kicks off with one single moment, a moment that's going to change our silent witness forever and set a cosmic tragedy into motion. And this is where things get really interesting. A single spark of primal fire from the giants, it touches the Iron Rime. And you gotta ask, is this a good thing or a bad thing? A blessing or an infection? Doesn't matter really, because either way, it introduces something totally new into the mix. Chaos, heat, destruction, but also creation. This is the exact moment our arbiter of law gets the red in his name. So now he's changed. He's no longer just cold, silent law. He's the Red Spectre. And he turns his new gaze toward the 9 realms and zooms in on one particular relationship, a partnership that was basically doomed from the start.
Okay, so let's meet the main characters in this drama. On one side, you've got Wotan, the king. He's all about his spear of divine law, trying desperately to keep everything in a rigid, stagnant order. And on the other side, Loge, the fire god. He's a total outsider, full of cynical smarts, and he represents a kind of necessary destruction. Yeah, you can already see this isn't going to end well.
So here's the kicker. Wotan, the great king of law, is terrified of change. But to hold on to his power, he needs the one thing he fears most, the clever, chaotic mind of Loge. He uses him for shortcuts, for little intellectual loopholes, and he compromises his own ideals every single step of the way.
And our Red Spectre, he sees this with crystal clear vision. He understands that every deal Wotan makes, every shortcut he takes, it's not a win, it's debt. It's like a moral asset that's just slowly eating away at the very foundation of his kingdom. A corrosive price is being paid, for sure.
Now Loge, he's the guy who sees through all the BS. As the outsider, he's not blinded by all the divine pride. He looks at the gods, the Aesir, and he just sees corruption. He sees their grand hall Valhalla not as some heavenly palace, but as a huge monument to their own vanity, all of it built on lies and broken promises. And yeah, he knows exactly how this is all going to end.
And this is where it all clicks for the Red Spectre. He's watching all this unfold and he realizes this conflict out there between Wotan and Loge, it's the same conflict that's now inside of him. The law of the rime versus the chaos of the spark. He basically becomes the silent living proof of Loge's grim prophecy.
And you can just see the dominoes starting to fall, one by one. It starts with the Spectre's transformation, then you have Wotan racking up all that moral debt, then comes that desperate act of trapping his own daughter Brunehilde in a ring of fire, which is the perfect symbol of using chaos to maintain control. And it all leads to one single destination, Götterdämmerung, the twilight of the gods. All right, deep breath. We've reached the final act. All the debts are coming due, the corrosion is complete, and that house of broken oaths, well, it's about to come crashing down.
So that shaky alliance we talked about, the one that was never really stable to begin with, it doesn't just crack, it completely shatters. The inevitable finally happens. Law turns on cunning. Wotan turns on the very chaos he could never ever truly control.
And Wotan, in this last-ditch effort to prove he's still in charge, does the unthinkable. He takes the very symbol of his divine law, his spear, and he strikes down the one being who made his entire reign possible.
But here's the ultimate irony. In trying to enforce his law, he unleashes total chaos. This final, ultimate betrayal is like breaking the last chain holding Loge's power back.
The destructive heart of the fire god is now completely, totally unchecked.
And just like that, poof, Valhalla goes up in smoke. The prophecy that Loge whispered all that time ago, it comes true in the most fiery, spectacular way possible. The stagnant era of the gods, their big, shiny monument to vanity, is just gone, reduced to ash. The house built on broken oaths finally falls.
But, just because everything's burning doesn't mean it's over. As the smoke starts to clear, the whole tone of our story shifts. From the ashes of a fallen world, our narrator, the Red Spectre, is about to find his true purpose. See, the thing is, the gods weren't taken down by some great enemy. Nope. They did it to themselves. Their whole system was so rigid, so rotten with hypocrisy, it just imploded. It was basically suicide.
And that brings us back to our witness, the Spectre. His transformation is finally complete. He started as Iron Rime, a silent enforcer of stasis. But now, after seeing it all burn down, he's the Crimson Spark. He's the sole narrator, and he's now an agent of rebirth.
So his new job title? Cosmic Gardener. It's a pretty big deal. He's the one who understands that sometimes you have to burn the dead forest down so that new trees have fertile soil to grow in.
So as he stands there, looking at the smoking ruins of Valhalla, he's not sad. He's ready. The cleanup is done. Now the real work, the necessary work of creation can finally begin.
And that leaves us with one last, pretty intense thought. This whole mythic play, it's really meant to hold a mirror up to us. It's asking us to look around at our own world, our own systems, and ask that really uncomfortable question. If our house is built on broken oaths, who's going to tend the fire when it comes?